Hey there, all you cool, epic, awesome listeners. Welcome back. You're now listening to episode 24 of the Cool, Epic, Awesome podcast. I'm Matt, your co host.
Your other co-host, Joe.
And today we are talking about the highly awaited and highly anticipated Fast X, which was a box office smash in its first weekend. And go ahead. Sorry.
It basically made back its budget in one weekend somehow.
Yeah, pretty impressive. And yeah, we'll also discuss the killing of a sacred deer, Yorgos Lanthimos film, which I recommended last episode. And then there's just some other movie news that we got. A couple trailers, one which was highly anticipated.
For us, yeah, especially. And that trailer happened to be playing in front of the Fast X, and I have to say that was my favorite part of Fast X.
Yeah. I guess that's a good transition into the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty bad. It was honestly pretty bad.
It was pretty bad.
And I'm not too familiar with the Fast franchise. I wanted to go back. I've seen a couple like throughout the years, but I decided to go back, like honestly, maybe a year ago and watch them to sort of prepare myself. And I only got up to 4, and I just stopped.
Yeah, I mean, like the first, I vaguely remember most of them. Actually, one of my flights was delayed a couple weeks ago, and I rewatched the first one. And it's crazy how different the movies are. Like when they first came out, it was strictly about like racing, and that was it. And now it's like they're going to fucking space, and they're fighting like international terrorism. Like they stray so far from what they started with. It's actually kind of sad.
Yeah, but people love it. Like we mentioned, it made like 389 million, I think, opening weekend off a 340 million budget. Which, first of all, that's actually insane. But I know a lot of it was because of rewrites, and I know that Justin Lin was originally going to direct, and after a week of shooting, he quit. So they had to bring in a new director, rewrite the story. So that's why it cost so much.
Yeah.
But in terms of a film in general, I don't even know where to start, to be honest.
There's just you could go.
It just like completely abandons any realism at all. Like the MCU is literally, I'm not even kidding, the MCU is more realistic than this.
Guardians is a more believable film than this. Like the stuff that happens in there, I probably believe would happen more than what happens in this.
Yeah. Let me think about what the story is actually about, because there's not really much story here.
So it follows like, what is that from? The 4, right? Was the one?
No, I think that's 5, because I got up to 4 and The Rock's character hadn't been introduced yet, and I know he was like involved in the heist the villain was tight about. So I think it's 5.
Yeah. So basically, in Fast 5, they steal like a vault or something from like a drug dealer.
Yeah, like a huge safe.
Yeah. And they end up killing the drug dealer, and like basically his son comes back, and that's played by Jason Momoa, like seeking revenge, and that's essentially the plot of the movie. I know, Matt, you didn't like Jason Momoa as I really enjoyed him. I thought he was the best part of the movie.
I mean, I didn't say I didn't like him. I just thought he was a little bit out of place within the franchise and within this movie. Everything is kind of supposed to be, not that it's like taking itself seriously, because obviously it's not with what happens.
Yeah.
Like the characters are like serious characters, and then you have Jason Momoa who's like doing an impression of the Joker, the way he's like speaking and acting and how crazy he is, and it just like took me out of some of the scenes, like some of the scenes that were trying to be serious.
That's fair.
One thing about his character was he made a point that he didn't want to kill Dom because he felt that killing him like wasn't good revenge. It wouldn't do justice for his father, so he wanted to make him suffer first by killing his family, you know? And I don't know if that really worked, because first of all, no one dies. Like the only person that died was maybe John Cena's character.
Which is still to be determined. I mean, I think he's dead, but they always bring people back, and
Yeah. And also, like, there was a bunch of his buddies that were on a plane, or his family that was on a plane.
His family,
that supposedly crashes and explodes into a mountain, but you don't see them die. So I'm guessing they'll come back.
I kind of hope they do let them die off. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there hasn't really been any significant. Not that I'm a huge Fast fan, but it really feels like there's no significant deaths in the movie besides. I mean, but I'm not really attached to the character, so I can't really tell. Like, I don't know how important John Cena's character was, but they gotta start killing off people. Like, there's way too many characters in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, the only person that they've killed off throughout the series was like Brian, who's um Paul Walker's character, and the only reason why they killed him off was because
He
the
passed
actor
away.
died in real life. Like
Yeah,
it literally took an actor's death in real life for them to kill off a character. Every other character that was supposedly killed off has come back at this point.
and he probably would. They probably wouldn't have killed him off either if he was still alive.
Definitely not,
Yeah,
because he was like was the main character originally before
yeah,
Vin Diesel kind of took over the whole thing.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think there's just way too much going on. Like you said, there's too many characters because they brought back all these old characters, but then they also brought in new characters. Like you have Brie Larson, Jason Momoa, Alan Ritchson, his character,
Oh yeah,
a few others, but there was just too many storylines going on to the point where I was getting confused by who was doing what and
yeah.
like what certain people were doing at certain times.
I probably should have done a little more research before. Yeah, because I didn't watch any of them. I watched the first one like on a flight, and then I haven't watched any of them in like years.
Yeah.
I was a
One
little
thing
confused.
I'll say though, I did have a fun time watching it.
Oh
Like,
yeah, no, it's over the top action. It's still fun.
yeah, the action scenes were ridiculous, but they were like
Yeah,
fun to watch, and some of Vin Diesel's lines were laughable. Um, but yeah, it was just like a fun time overall.
yeah.
But that doesn't give it an excuse for being
Oh
bad.
no, absolutely not. Like it's
Like,
still
like,
ridiculous. I remember like the the opening like sequence, I guess, like of like action is there in Rome, and there's just like a giant like basically like not a, it's like a bomb, but it's like a ball. So they're kind of playing like they're just trying to get away, like trying to steer the ball away from everyone like
they're
street
playing
or like
Rocket League with
yeah,
it.
yeah. I was trying to think of the name of the game. They're basically playing Rocket League in the middle of Rome, but it's like so ridiculous. Like he's like swerving like down the steps, like dodging. Like it's just like so unrealistic.
Yeah, it's funny how they like make him seem like such a good guy, and he's trying to like save people.
Yeah,
There was one scene, I think I mentioned it to you, where the giant bomb, the bomb by the way is like the height of like two full size people.
yeah.
It was about to like slam into like a grandma and two dogs, and he drove his car and hit it with the tail of his car to like deflect it out of the way. Meanwhile, he just murders like mad innocent people throughout the rest of the movie. So like it's not like he's cares about people's lives that much.
You know what's crazy too is like people said online like this in terms of like the ridiculousness of the stunts. This one is like more laid back than the recent other ones. Like I'm pretty sure in the last one they went to fucking space.
Yeah, I can't think of a reason why they would ever have to do that.
Yeah. Why would they send mechanics to space? I really
Um,
wish I knew.
they're past mechanics at this point, though. They're like,
Yeah, they're just
I don't
like
even know what they are. They're
yeah.
like, they mention like the agency throughout, or like some organization that
But
they're a
I
part of.
feel like I don't even remember the agency in the other films.
I don't know. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
able to tell you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I wanted to, I was about to mention it before. People are excusing the film and saying like, oh, it's just a blockbuster. It's an action blockbuster. It doesn't matter. Like if you're hating on it, you're just like you don't like to have fun. That's not an excuse. There are plenty
No.
of blockbusters that are actually good. One of which is one being compared to this, which is Avengers Infinity War. People are comparing this movie to because of how it ends on a cliffhanger. It has all these characters from previous in the franchise all separated doing different things.
Yeah.
But that movie's actually good. It's well written and like it makes sense what's happening,
Yeah.
you know?
And this just felt like a I don't even know.
And
There was
honestly,
one
it felt like a bunch of action figures, like when you're playing with action figures as a
when
kid
you're
and
like
just like
oh yeah.
slamming them into each other. Which I mean, it could be fun, but
Yeah.
like I said, especially nowadays, we're seeing like blockbusters that are also awards winners, like Top
Yeah.
Gun Maverick, Dune, stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not saying Fast X should have, I'm not saying I was expecting it to be Dune, but
It was just a
I,
little better quality than this.
I just feel like that's not an excuse anymore.
No, not at all. That just reminded me. I just completely forgot my train of thought. Um, about just I feel like they could make it's not that hard. Like just hire a good writer because the action is great. It's always good. Just hire better writers, and the movie could be like. Just imagine if they actually put a well-rounded script on the movie. It wouldn't be that bad. Like everything else, like the action's good, the fight choreography is great, the cars are cool. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, for
But,
sure. They
yeah,
need to get more talented people involved,
yeah.
but that means dishing out more money, and they already
Yeah.
had the 340 mil budget. So
How much of that do you think went to the cast? Because I'm like all the there are a lot of like Vin Diesel. I'm sure he's not cheap to do his character, and then
they probably gave him like 20 million. Not
yeah,
even kidding.
What's the guy Jason State?
Statham.
Yeah, him. He's another one that's big, and even like spoiler alert, The Rock shows up at the end, and he's got to be a massive fucking paycheck too.
I mean, it's just a post-credit scene, but still.
But he's probably going to be a big character in the next one. I'm assuming.
Yeah, yeah. Also, Gal Gadot's character comes back.
Yeah,
She was thought to have been dead as well.
and then I didn't realize Han, the guy's name is right. That's his name.
Han, yeah.
Yeah. So Tokyo Drift is the only one I really like remember the best. And wait, hold on a second. Something's beeping. Hold on.
All right, go check out that mysterious beep. But I think where you're going with this is that Han's character also is one that died in Tokyo Drift, which is the third film in the franchise. We're now at 10, and he's somehow still here. I was actually looking into it, and what originally happened is that.
Sorry about that.
What were you gonna say? Because I started going into how like he died in Tokyo Drift. I'm not sure if that's
Yeah,
what you
that's
meant.
like I
Oh,
thought
yeah,
he was dead, and then he just keeps showing up in these movies. But originally, I thought it was like Tokyo Drift was taking place in the past, but it's like kind of in the middle of two movies.
yeah. I looked it up because I was curious, and so Fast X in terms of release. I mean, I'm sorry. Tokyo Drift in terms of release order is the third movie in the franchise. So it was like
Okay.
the Fast and the Furious, and then Too Fast, Too Furious, and then it was Tokyo Drift. But then in the fourth, fifth, and sixth movies, Han is back, and they just say, "Oh, Tokyo Drift was like a set in the future."
Oh yeah.
So 4, 5, and 6 are prequels, but then they're like, "Wait, like they were using flip phones in Tokyo Drift, so that doesn't make any sense. We gotta like
Yeah.
try to fix this." So then they said, "Oh wait, actually, Tokyo Drift takes place between 6 and 7." And then he comes back in 7 because he actually survived, even though his entire car exploded.
Exploded. Yeah.
So like they retconned his death like twice.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but I feel like at this point, story is just like completely thrown out
Out
the
the window.
window.
Yeah.
Um, were there any like specific insane action scenes that stuck out as being
Not even
great?
an action scene was just when John Cena and Vin Diesel's son are like they're like trying to hide away from everyone and like oh we're gonna pretend we're going on like a kayaking trip. So John Cena's like holding a kayak in a bag on top of his shoulder, and somehow he gets that through fucking TSA, and in the bag is not a kayak, it's like a fucking rocket, like a rocket ship, like a mini rocket ship, and he's just like holding it on his shoulder. I was like, bro, what the fuck?
And not only the fact that he somehow slipped that past TSA, not the fact that he could carry it,
Carried on his shoulder.
but the fact that that tiny rocket ship could even exist in
Yeah.
reality. And also, he's in cahoots with the airline that they would drop him out in the middle of a, a normal flight.
Yeah. And then they
Makes no fucking sense.
use vodka for fucking fuel. He literally used like the mini shit, like you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he used 3 shooters as fuel.
Yeah.
That would burn up in like 15 seconds.
It wouldn't even work. There's not enough alcohol in it.
Who
But
knows?
I mean, we're kind of nitpicking a little bit
Yeah,
with
it's just
that.
funny. It's just funny. Like I know
Yeah.
that
Like if you really want to, you could sit down and there's so much shit you can nitpick. Like, oh, this one really pissed me off. Was also Pete Davidson's in the movie. He plays like an arms dealer, so they're trying to get like cars and money, and like for some reason he has like edibles out, and Han eats like an edible, and they show a scene of him like tripping and shit. Then literally 10 minutes later, like he fucking gets into a massive brawl with all these like armed guards and shit. Like he was literally tripping balls 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, there was actually like no reason for that scene to even be in
No,
there.
I
It
mean
just like
whatsoever.
they used like the typical like trippy effect
Yeah,
like for no reason, and then it lasted like 5 seconds, and that was it.
yeah.
I actually like Pete Davidson, so I didn't mind his
No,
cameo.
yeah, I like he was fine. It's just like stupid. But I can't even think of like there's so many scenes in this movie that I was just like, what the fuck? I don't even have a favorite one on it. Like I'm trying to think in my head.
Yeah, and it's always just like so excessive.
Yeah.
When Jason Momoa's character is finally done killing Dom's family, and he's like, "All right, I've made you suffer. Now it's time for you to die." He like has snipers. He has a rocket. But instead of like killing him normally, he decides to make two gas trucks fly at him from both directions while he's like in the middle of a dam, so that Dom could then launch over the dam, fly down it with his son in the car,
Yeah.
use propane to boost his car, and fly into the water and somehow survive. Like they just had to like he could have just killed him.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, it's nitpicking, but
Yeah.
it's still like it was just like funny. Like I was laughing out loud when that shit happened.
I
Um,
feel like there was another like really ridiculous thing. Oh, with the helicopters.
oh yeah, that one was in the trailer where somehow the weight of his car brings down two helicopters that are attached to him and
Yeah.
destroys both of them.
Well, he
Then he
drove.
he
Well,
proceeds to like swing them around and like destroy other cars with the
yeah.
helicopters that are attached to him.
And then he also wait, I'm trying to think of another one now too. His Dodge Charger just, drops out of a carrier plane with no damage done to it whatsoever.
Yeah,
But
pretty funny stuff. Also,
yeah,
when the moment that I realized like yeah they're not taking this shit seriously anymore was when he was trying to stop
yeah,
the
the
bomb,
cane thing, right?
and he flew into like a giant crane,
Crane.
like smashed into it with his car, and then it swung around the other side and hit the ball into the river, stopping it from destroying the Vatican.
Yeah.
I was also for that scene I was kind of confused with like Momoa's thought process there. Like I get that he's
What?
crazy, and I know like he wanted to frame Dom, and that's like why he put the bomb there. But like, why does he want to blow up the Vatican?
I think he was just like trying to I don't know. I don't even I think he just was like, oh, that's like a big there's a lot of people there. I guess more casualties. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
why? He just wants to kill Dom. He doesn't want to like become a mass
Well, like I
terrorist.
mean, he clearly doesn't care about like human life, so I don't think he
Yeah,
care.
yeah, it was weird. But I don't know. Talk about my favorite scene though. I actually liked when they went back to do like a typical street race, and they had
Yeah,
like the dancing
that
girls and the
that's what
bright color cars,
that's what I was gonna bring up actually.
because that's similar to the originals.
Yeah, and then they ruin it. Like I was like, oh, all right, like this is like seems like we're going back to the roots. Like I was like, okay, I'll take this. And then like they're all racing, and then of course there's got to be weapons and shit. So they have bombs under each of the cars. So there's no race. It lasts like 3 seconds, and then they blow up. So it was completely ruined again.
Yeah, and I don't understand. I also don't get what is Momoa's character's name again?
Um,
I don't want to keep.
Dante.
Yeah, Dante. Let me just double check that so I don't
Let me
keep
see
calling him
it.
the wrong thing. In that
Yeah,
scene,
Dante Reyes.
so Dante basically sets it up so that it's him, Dom, and then two other people that Dom knows, and it's four of them racing. And Dante put two bombs under the two people that Dom knows. He's like, "Oh, you have to choose one to save." Like, how does he expect him to choose one? Because he blows up both bombs.
Yeah.
The way that he ends up saving the girl, and the way that he does it is like by hitting her car, and it somehow like flips in the perfect way that a piece of shrapnel hits the bomb off, and it like
Flies
explodes
off.
elsewhere. Like, did he just know Dom was gonna be able to do that to like save them, or was he just
Yeah.
planning on killing both of them?
I guess just kill him, but I don't even know.
I don't know. But either way, that was my favorite scene because I don't know. I feel like these new Fast and Furious, like they're very like dark. Like all the cars are black, and
Yeah, I
like
did like the return. Like, Momoa's like even just his like wardrobe in this movie is like way more expressive and vibrant than any of the other villains in it.
yeah, I like when they have those like shiny like green, pink cars
Yeah,
and stuff, and like have that racing.
I like how they make
I
his
don't know.
outfits match the car, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah. What did you think of Brie Larson's character?
She was good. I know she gets a lot of hate, but I think she's a good actress. I don't know
Yeah,
what
she was
like.
good.
Yeah,
I don't really know who Mr. Nobody is, but she's like the daughter of
neither do I. I
whoever
know
that
that
is.
he's Mr. Nobody played by Kurt Russell, but that's all I know.
Yeah. So the lady who plays Dom's mother, right?
Hmm.
In the beginning. It's like I think it's Rita Murano or something. That's her name. Because
Yeah,
they always just like introduce new people, and it's like, oh, this is this person's
yeah,
brother, or this is this person's mother, or
cousin or
whatever.
whatever. So, yeah,
The reason why she was in it was because apparently, like, her grandson met met Vin Diesel, and was like, and said like he loves Fast and Furious and like wants like his grandma to be in it. So they just like wrote her as a character, and we're just like, all right, you're Dom's mother.
are you serious?
Yeah.
It's just like a random lady.
What do you mean?
That woman's just like a random ass
No,
lady.
no, 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 no. It's she's like a well-known actress, but the
Oh,
reason
I
why
was about
she's
to
in it,
say, I was like, bro, what the fuck? I thought like he met someone at like a fan thing. He was like, oh yeah, we'll just cast your grandma in the movie.
no, but like she's not really known for
This type of
Fast and
stuff.
Furious type
Yeah.
movies. But like because I could be getting the story wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's her grandson that was like, "Yo, could you put my grandma in the movie?" And he was like, "Sure." And they just wrote her in.
Oh, funny.
Did you
Helen
see?
Mirren is in it too.
Yeah, she plays Jason Statham's mother, I think.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
the cast is good. There's a lot of talent. It's just like,
they're not given much to work with,
yeah.
and they
Even
all.
I mean, I liked Alan Richardson. I like usually he plays like comedic stuff. This is like the first time I saw him as like something serious, and I thought he was good.
Yeah, I know he has that Reacher series on
Yeah,
Amazon Prime that apparently did really well, or like it's supposed to be good.
because every time I see him, I just think of
Bad.
Blue Mountain State.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
Yeah, I have a
No, but
feeling he's gonna.
he was in Titans.
Oh yeah, he played Hawk, right? Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he was. Oh, I lied. I liked him in that a lot too.
yeah. I'm trying to think of any other
He's
new
he. I feel like he's
characters.
gonna get a superhero thing eventually.
Yeah, he probably will.
Yeah,
'Cause he's fucking
he's
huge
ripped.
too.
Yeah,
Dude,
I mean,
John
and
Cena also is massive.
yeah.
Um, yeah, what other new characters were there? Any?
The
Oh
girl that
yeah,
was in the Suicide
yeah,
Squad.
Danielle. Mel, I'm saying her name wrong, but something
Yeah,
like that.
she was fine. I mean, like,
That's so she's the aunt of Dom's son,
yeah.
and I
But
guess her sister, who was Dom's baby mama, died or something.
I think like I forgot what it is. I think like one of the movies he like moves away and like meets a girl and like they get married and he has a kid. I think that's like one of the movies.
And is that who Charlie's Theron killed? Remember when they were showing
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
so that woman killed the
His wife.
mother of his son,
Yeah,
and he still is like willing to like work with her. Okay.
it's just kind of insane.
Yeah, it's just like they can't just like introduce a new character. They always have to introduce them and be like, "Oh, it's the sister of this person. It's the brother of this
Yeah.
person." It's like it's the whole family thing. It gets like
Honestly,
memed
the
so much.
best like original hold on. The best like original character in it was I thought Alan Richardson's character, and he had no connections to anybody.
Yeah, he was just like, wait, was he not the brother of Dante?
No, he's just like he was working with them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, his character was good. I mean, a lot of the double crossing shit didn't make. That's like another thing that didn't make sense. Like all the
Yeah,
double crosses and like, how did Dante know like all this shit about like Dom and like it just didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might be being too harsh on this movie, but I feel like it deserves this criticism.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Do you have a favorite character or no?
Jason Momoa's character.
I don't know if I honestly even had one. I'm gonna say Dom because I just thought he was funny, and I thought Vin Diesel was like just gave like a goofy performance. I
Yeah.
like laughed whenever he tried to deliver a serious line. But besides him, I mean, I did like Charlize Theron's character a bit. Um, and Jason Momoa, I'm like on the fence. So
Yeah.
I don't know if let me think if there's anything else. I guess we could talk about the post credit scene.
Which
So
is
this
basically
well, wait, let me talk about
yeah.
the Gal Gadot shit first, and then you could do the post credit scene. So Charlize Theron and Michelle Rodriguez's characters, they're like locked in some prison in Antarctica. They somehow escape, start walking, and then it like cuts whatever. And then at the end of the movie, also wait, we forgot to mention this, but the movie ends on a cliffhanger, and that that dam that I mentioned that Dom flies off of and somehow survives.
Yeah.
There was like a bunch of bombs attached to it, and it explodes, and then like it we're assuming the water's gonna come down and kill him and his son, but we'll have to find out in the next movie.
Yeah.
But anyway, so as that's happening, you have Charlize Theron's character and Michelle Rodriguez's character. They're in Antarctica. They escape. They're walking, and they're like, "Oh, I think Michelle Rodriguez is like, oh, this is like a terrible plan." Like Charlize Theron like says some shit back. Then all of a sudden, out of the ice, an insanely large submarine just appears, comes up. Then like the hatch at the top opens, and like Gal Gadot just comes out, and like it just cuts to black, and the movie ends. Like
It's just there.
I don't know how she died. I just know she was supposedly died in the one of the other movies, but I guess she's back. So, and then after that, there's a post credit scene which you could talk about.
Yes. So the post credit scene is basically uh Jason because even though Dom stole the money and like crashed the car into Dante's dad, like the Rock character is the one who shot him. So he basically was like, "Oh, like I'm coming for you." Well, you don't know it's the Rock at first. He's wearing like I don't know, like one of those like helmets and shit that the military people wear. And he just like takes off his helmet and he's like, "Oh, like I'm not hard to find." And he's like from an iPhone, he's calling him, and he just like crushes the iPhone with his hand, and then that's it. So
Yeah, it was funny though, and
yeah,
the reason why it's such a big deal that The Rock is coming back, for those of you that don't know, is that has like this notorious feud with Vin Diesel, and it's why he left the franchise to begin with.
yeah,
He basically called out Vin Diesel for being like unprofessional, and he said that he like showed up um to filming and he was out of shape and like all this shit, and he was like, I'm never working with him again, which he wasn't planning on doing most likely. But then
yeah.
once Black Adam crashed and burned, he was probably like, fuck it, like I need to go back,
That needs
you know.
back.
But we'll see. I mean, I wonder how the filming for the next movie is going to be. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, apparently they want to. Vin Diesel said he wanted to get Robert Downey Jr. to play like the villain of the next one.
I mean, Downey's kind of been slow ever since Endgame, so we'll see. I know he's
That was,
got Oppenheimer coming up, but
yeah. He's probably only gonna do like either shit that like they pay him a ridiculous amount of money or like critically acclaimed stuff.
yeah. So, all
Wait,
right.
what was your rating in the movie?
I gave it 2 stars, 4 to 10. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. I had a fun time, but I don't know. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, pretty ass. But yeah, I gave it 2 stars again. Uh, pretty ass movie, not gonna lie. But I wasn't expecting anything else, so
Yeah, I'm glad
yeah.
I saw it in a theater though, because like trying to watch
Yeah,
that
no.
in my house would have actually been impossible, because I wouldn't have got like the same
Oh yeah.
big like sound effects and like all this
Yeah.
shit that kept me invested in it. So, all right, that wraps up Fast X. You want to move
It's
on to?
little movie news.
Yeah, we'll start with the biggest thing out of all of these, which is that we finally got a trailer for Fnaf, Five Nights at Freddy's, and it
And
looks pretty. It looks
yeah, looks
solid.
promising.
It looks pretty solid. The animatronics look like they're ripped straight from the game,
Yeah.
which if you're gonna do a video game adaptation and Sonic learned this the hard way, like it's better to be faithful to the source material
That's
than
a
to
disrespect it.
yeah. And we're starting to see a surge in these video game properties getting movies after success of Mario, which I think is at like 1.2 billion box office right now.
I think it's like the second highest grossing animated film.
Yeah, probably behind like Frozen or some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, the trailer basically doesn't show much, but it starts with like an old school sort of VHS recording of like a Five Nights at Freddy's like establishment where it's some lady. It seems like it's a Chuck E. Cheese, like she's talking about, oh, meet these animatronics, whatever, this and that. And then it cuts and you see it's like modern day and the Five Nights at Freddy's like abandoned. So then you meet the security guard who's gonna work the night shift. I don't really know how they're gonna explain like why he's working there if it's abandoned and closed down,
Yeah.
but I don't know. There's definitely a reason. Um, but yeah, then you see like little bits of the animatronics. You see like some scenes with kids. The only animatronics you see in motion though are Freddy and Bonnie. They both look
You see Foxy too.
moving. Do you?
Well, you see his foot stamp on the ball.
Oh, okay, okay. But
People
yeah,
were complaining about the because in the games they don't have red eyes, but in this they have red eyes. But honestly, I don't really care about it. I think that's fine. That doesn't really bother me.
yeah, that doesn't bother me too much. I would prefer if they had silver eyes or like
Like in the
white.
game.
Yeah, like I would prefer that, but it's not gonna ruin the movie for me.
Yeah. I mean, they still could.
The only thing I don't like is like the posters are a little bit too like bright and kid friendly. I wish it would be like a little bit darker.
Yeah. But this, you know what the target audience is for this.
Yeah, I know. It kind of sucks because like best case scenario, I'd want them to make an R-rated, bloody, like
Gory.
murderous,
Yeah.
gory like FNAF movie, but I know like that's just not possible
No.
because your target audience is children.
Yeah.
I think I've mentioned this on a few episodes, but like Funko, who's a huge name in like the toy industry, they have Funko Pops and like all this bullshit. They have rights to literally anything you could think of, Marvel, Star Wars, and their highest selling is Five Nights at Freddy's.
It's actually crazy.
It's crazy to think about, but that's how
Yeah.
big it is with kids. So the fact that anyone would even think this would be rated R is just like ludicrous.
Yeah. There's no way.
You do see William Afton though, played by Matthew Lillard, and he looks. I mean, you see him for a second. He looks
Yeah.
kind of cool.
I like that casting, honestly.
Yeah, he was the original Ghostface, so it's cool to see him come back to horror.
Yeah.
And Josh Hutcherson, he seemed like fine. I mean, you don't get
Yeah, I
much
mean,
of him, but he seemed like he fit into his role decently well.
yeah. I mean, I haven't really seen him in much, honestly.
Yeah, I mean the Hunger Games, obviously, but
Yeah, but like since then,
um, yeah. So how much longer do we have till this film comes out? 4 months?
yeah, October
Or no,
27th, I think comes out.
5 months? Dude, 5 months till FNAF.
Yeah, they low key probably gonna. I mean, when is the next trailer gonna come? Probably like what, July, August, probably August.
Yeah, probably August, and then they'll
Yeah,
really ramp up marketing.
yeah.
It's
Apparently, I
going
saw something online that they're already supposed to start shooting the second movie in January.
really.
Yeah, like I follow like one of these pages for an update, and they like were talking to a crewman, not like a cat, like a actress or actor, but like people that build the sets and stuff, or what, like crew member. And they said they're supposed to return in January 24 to start filming in the second one. I mean, bearing obviously what happens with this movie, but I'm sure it'll make money.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're banking on it making money. I know
Yeah,
it is. It's going to Peacock the same day, but I
just
really
so
don't think
stupid,
that's going to affect the box office that much.
so dumb,
I
dude.
feel like it's going to be like an event, like similar to how Minions, when everyone on TikTok was going to
Yeah,
see the movie.
yeah,
I
me
feel
too.
like it's going to be something similar to that, where everyone's talking about it on social media and stuff.
Dude, I mean, even if it does good on Peacock, they'll probably still make a second one, even if it doesn't do good at the box office. If it does, because
Yeah.
Peacock, they're like dying for fucking content on there.
Yeah, and I know Matthew Lillard signed a 3-picture deal, so
Yeah.
they're at least planning on making at least 3
trilogy.
movies.
Yeah.
So,
And then I
yeah.
mean, and I'm sure they'll if they like get there, they'll do the what's the new Security Breach? And that one's probably the easiest to do because that one there's actually a storyline.
Yeah,
The other ones,
I think
well,
the movies are probably gonna sorta do their own thing, you know?
yeah, that's right.
But we'll
Yeah,
see, we'll see.
very excited for that.
There was another trailer which going from Fnaf to this is pretty insane, but it was for Martin Scorsese's next movie, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah,
Um, it's
I
just
just
screened at Cannes, and it's getting insanely great reviews, and like people are saying it's Leonardo DiCaprio's
best
best performance
performance.
of his
Yeah, as well.
career. It's definitely gonna be one to watch out for the Oscars.
Yeah, it's
And by
also
the trailers, like it looks good. I'm
yeah.
not really sure what the story is exactly.
Apparently, it's about like whatever like Native American tribe that is like basically on their there's like an oil thing on their land, and it's about like basically just settlers coming in and just killing them all and taking the
Yeah,
oil.
the classic
Yeah,
white people always got to ruin something.
yeah.
I know people are complaining about another movie where like white people are the villains, but
I
like
mean, but
this is
this
based
is
on shit that actually
they
happened.
are the villains in like everything in real life, basically.
Yeah.
But
I yeah, I
what?
mean, no, it is funny sometimes like when movies sort of um shit on white people. Like I don't know if you've ever seen Ip Man, but
No.
those movies, that's where Donnie Yen is from. The dude from
Oh
John
yeah,
Wick
I've
4.
heard of those movies. Yeah,
The second one, I remember his villain is like this American boxer, and he's like this big, like white blonde dude, and they like make him seem like the most terrible person with
yeah,
like all this propaganda and shit. It's kind of funny, but like this is a
yeah,
different circumstance. Like something like that, I'm like, okay, like this is kind of ridiculous.
yeah,
But like this is based on like stuff that's actually happened, you know?
yeah.
So it's not like they're just making white people out to be the villains. Like this is just
They are. They like
this is
this
just what
actually
happened.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So that complaint is pretty stupid in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Apparently it's 3 hours and 45 minutes, which is insane. That has to
Yeah.
be the long. If when we see it, that's gonna be the longest movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, besides maybe Zack
Oh,
Snyder's
Zack Snyder's
Justice League.
Justice League is 4 hours too.
That, bruh, I really hope it's not that long. I don't want to sit in a movie theater for 4
4
hours,
hours, yeah, it's OD.
but I will if I have to.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, yeah, I don't really know too much. I just know like that it's about that, but I don't know anything about the characters or anything or who Leonardo DiCaprio's playing.
yeah, I know the girl who plays alongside him, her name's like Lily Gladstone or something. She's also getting a ton of praise for her
Yeah.
performance. Apparently, she got like a huge standing ovation at Cannes, but they also give
Brent,
out standing ovations like nothing. So
Brendan Fraser's in it too.
yeah, Brendan Fraser's in it. Jesse Plemons is in it. De
Oh, he's
Niro's
in
in
it
it.
too?
Yeah. So I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah.
Scorsese is yet to make like anything that's less than great. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. What else we
What other
got?
news we got?
Mm. All right, so this is something small, but you sent it to me on Twitter the other day. So they just greenlit a Bullet Train 2,
Oh
which
yeah.
I really loved Bullet Train. I think we talked about it on the podcast, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we did.
And Brad Pitt and Sandra Bullock are going to come back, and they're also getting Margot to star.
Which is a huge get.
Yeah. So if it's
But
anything like the first, I'm sure we'll love it.
yeah.
I'm thinking maybe they could do like not on a train or something, but I don't know like what else they could
No,
do.
they're just gonna do like a different bullet train. You know what bullet trains are in Japan or all over the world?
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna want to make it stand out from the first, like a different setting or something.
Yeah, they maybe they'll do it in like London or something or somewhere where they have bullet trains. Not the
Yeah,
US, we don't have bullet trains, but
yeah.
like other countries.
I really like began to love Brad Pitt recently. I don't know
I mean, he was
why.
great in Babylon.
Yeah, not as a person, but as
Nah,
an
he's a piece of
actor.
shit in real life,
Yeah,
but
I don't know. I love his characters in most of his movies, so I'm excited for that. And maybe Sandra Bullock's character, she didn't really have a big role. She was just kind of like in his ear the whole time.
yeah,
Maybe she'll actually get in on the action in this a little bit, which would be cool.
yeah,
Um,
but yeah.
yeah, hopefully it has like as good of a cast as the first because it was
It
pretty
probably
stacked.
will. I feel like it just looks like a fun movie that a lot of people would want to do. Like
Yeah.
the cast of the first one was stacked.
hmm So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And then besides that, there was two. Okay, there's two Disney movies that both started getting reviews in. Pretty drastically different. So the Little Mermaid, which we were supposed to review for this episode, but this like weekend's Memorial Day weekend. I'm gonna be away. I think Joe, you have some shit going on.
Yeah.
So we had to record the episode early. So that film comes out this Friday. So we're gonna either, if it's good enough and we want to talk about it, we'll talk about it on the next episode. Or if not, we'll just skip it and maybe mention it. But the reviews for that film started coming in and surprisingly pretty positive.
Yeah. Which is, it doesn't look like it's good, but I mean, apparently, I feel like most of the reviews are saying the main app. What's her name?
Halle Bailey.
Yeah, are praising her performance in it.
And
That's
the
like,
more clips I watch, like she's a very talented singer, and I don't know
yeah,
how she is as an actress. I'm sure she's pretty good, but
people were fucking complaining when they casted her.
yeah, I like I said back when we originally talked about it. The only complaint that I have with that casting is it's not like faithful to what the original casting was. I mean, to what the original Ariel like looked like, and if you're going for nostalgia, it makes more sense to cast someone who
Yeah.
looks similar to that. But I had no problems with it. Like I wasn't saying like, "Oh, fuck this movie.
Yeah.
They're woke" or anything like that. Like,
I feel like they said they cast like it was mostly for her singing is the reason why they cast her, and from
yeah,
everything we've read, that's like probably the best part of the movie. They said
yeah. I kind of am interested in going back and watching
rewatching the animated one. Yeah,
the original. You
I
know?
just hate the way they design like the animals, not just in all the live action movies. Like they should, I want them to look cartoonish. Like they're, you know what I mean? Like I hate when they're super realistic. It's so dumb.
Yeah, you're going for this realism, but like they're literally just
The
singing,
movie about
talking
fucking
animals.
mermaids. Yeah, dude.
I don't know.
Like the
I
Lion
I,
King. It
I
was
never
another.
saw The Lion King. I have to watch some of the. I
Neither
never
have
saw
I.
like any of the Disney live actions. I can't even. I don't even
Neither
think
have
I saw
I. I
any.
saw. No, I haven't seen Beauty and the Beast. I haven't seen Cinderella. I haven't seen Aladdin. What are the other ones?
I know the first one that they did was The Jungle Book, and it actually was good apparently.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And since then, they were just like, "Yo, like this was actually good and it made money. Like let's just fucking make as many as we can."
Well, now they're doing live action Moana.
That's crazy. That's the first 3D animated that's gonna go to live action.
Oh really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that and How to Train Your Dragon. Those
Yeah,
two.
I'm sure. What you call it is gonna get animated soon.
Live action Ratatouille is gonna go crazy.
Yeah. Right. They should. That would be gas.
Or live action Cars. That would be
Yo,
sick.
or planes.
Do a collab with Fast and Furious with like
Lightning
um
McQueen and Vin Diesel.
that would be
To hook
sick.
them up with the Nas.
Yeah, that would actually be sick.
But
Um,
I
you're
feel
getting
like it's only a matter of time before they do live action Frozen.
yeah, definitely.
That's
That
one
that one's
that I feel
definitely
like
in the
they
pipeline.
should do. Like they already had a play for it, I think.
Yeah, Frozen on Ice. No, I don't know.
No, I think they had like an actual play, like on Broadway and shit.
Possibly. Not that I know of, but
But yeah,
yeah, no, we're getting off topic. But
yeah,
it's basically what I wanted to convey was that Little Mermaid is seemingly not as bad as people thought it would be, which
yeah.
is good. Anytime a good movie is made, it's a good thing. So yeah, but the other Disney movie I was talking about was the new Indiana Jones. Disney was so confident in it that they sent it to Cannes, which is like known for super art house movies and like
Yeah,
nothing like Indiana Jones. Not that Indiana Jones is as like schlocky as like Fast and the Furious. Like it is a little bit more grounded,
yeah,
but it's not something that you sent to Cannes. But they were like so confident that they sent it to all these critics, and they kind of just shit on the movie. It got like a 40% Rotten Tomatoes or something.
I feel like it's not that bad.
I don't think it's going to be that bad. I just think it
Yeah,
was a miscalculation to show it to this audience who's used to seeing
yeah, I
these
agree.
artsy, like super out there films, and then showing them some Indiana Jones action movie. Like they're not going to be into that shit, you know?
Yeah,
And it still could be like a bad movie. I don't know.
we'll
But
see.
the trailers look fine. Harrison Ford seems to care.
He's crying at when they at a Canes, like when the movie ended.
Yeah.
It's funny how you could tell he cares so much more about this character than like Star Wars and like all the other shit.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I think that's July or June does that come out?
I think June.
So very exciting
Interesting.
times. But not if you're an Indiana Jones fan. We'll still see. I'm sure it's fine, dude, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah. Moving on from that, let me see. I wanted to talk a little bit about
Oh, do you want to talk about the other movie they screened?
what? You can go ahead.
Elementals. I thought that's what you were talking about.
Oh, no. Did that get reviews in yet, or?
I think so.
I didn't
I
see
haven't
any.
honestly. I haven't seen it.
I don't think that's screened yet, because I think this
Really?
festival's still going on.
Oh, maybe that's why.
But because I didn't see it, unless I just missed out on it. But I wanted to talk about I guess I'll do the Joaquin Phoenix thing first.
Yeah.
So just because I just want to mention this because I'm like a huge fan of Joaquin. So apparently he's going to be in Todd Haynes' next film. He's going to star, and it is a film set in the 1930s, and it's supposed to be a love story between two men, and it's rated NC-17. So Joaquin Phoenix, basically having a romantic relationship with a man for a film, and it's something he's never done before.
Yeah.
And I like how he just continues to challenge himself with roles. Like he kind of just wants to like go out there and do as much as he can. He's never played a gay character before.
Yeah.
And although, yes, I'm not exactly what's the word?
What?
I don't necessarily love to watch two gay men have sex on screen. Definitely not.
Yeah.
But I can appreciate a good film about two gay men. For example,
Brokeback
Mountain, which is an amazing film. It stars two of my favorite actors, and it does give me some excitement for this movie, honestly. And I feel
this is supposed to be like. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of it. Sorry.
I feel like the fact that it's two men shouldn't make that much of a difference in the story, you know?
No.
If it's great performances and it's a good story, it should be fine.
Exactly.
I just wanted to bring it up because I love Joaquin. I just want to point out like how amazing it is that he just continues to challenge himself with these roles. So when we know more about it, I guess we'll talk about it more. But just wanted to mention it. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that news.
No, I mean I'm excited. Seems like I love Joaquin Phoenix, so it should be fun.
Yeah. All right. So moving on from that, we'll toss in some MCU stuff now because we can't have an episode without talking about the MCU.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to talk about the box office for the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's sitting at, I think,
650 million.
Yeah, 680 million worldwide, which is huge. And the big thing is that after its opening, the weekend drops. It was dropping like less than 50% each weekend, and we're in the third weekend now. Which, to put into perspective, the past couple, I think Quantumania had like a 70 or 79% drop, like something crazy. Same with I think Love and Thunder, huge drops.
That Marvel losing James Gunn, like looking back, is going to be like one of the worst like executive decisions they've made.
But it's just it's a product of cancel culture. They felt pressured to remove him.
Yeah.
Because of these tweets. These like they're stupid, but they're not worth losing.
He wasn't canceled. He's still directing stuff now.
I know, but he was canceled at the time. He got fired because of tweets.
Yeah.
But then once DC hired him, and Marvel was like, "Oh, like people actually don't care," they were like, "All right, we'll hire him back."
Yeah.
So it's going to be looked back on as definitely a huge mistake. But yeah, the movie's doing fantastic at the box office. I don't think it's going to crack $1 billion, but you never know.
I think it'll end around somewhere around 800 million.
Yeah, especially with like Fast X and Little Mermaid coming out, it's probably gonna slow down a bit. But yeah, it's good to see that the MCU is finding its way. They played a trailer for the Marvel as well. We went to see Fast X. It doesn't even look
They
bad,
did?
honestly. Yeah,
When? No, they didn't.
yes they did.
No way. I don't
Right.
remember that.
Actually, wait. Maybe when I saw Guardians again with Dad, I
Oh,
went the other
probably,
day.
yeah. I was gonna say, I was like, I don't remember that. Because I haven't seen
Actually,
it on it's in the theaters yet. I've only seen it online.
it actually looks decent.
No, it
Like I
looks
don't know.
good. It actually it looks like the story looks interesting. It looks super unique. I
Yeah,
kind of like how when they're like in the beginning, it looks like when they fight like with the different every time they use their powers, they switch. It's like it's like a big
yeah.
issue. But
It's an interesting concept.
by the end of I mean not the end, but you can see they're fighting someone like towards the end of the trailer, and they kind of all like are fighting in unison together, which is kind of cool.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think when's it come out? November.
Yeah,
And so hopefully this is like a turning point for Marvel where they start taking their scripts a little better. We have Secret Invasion in like a little over a month, so we'll see how that does. But
yeah.
we'll
We'll
see.
see. We'll see.
Speaking of Marvel, Jeff Loveness? That's his name, right?
Yeah. Jeff Loveness, who was the writer for Ant-Man 3. Go ahead.
Yeah, stepped away from. Well, I don't know. Stepped away, was probably fired from writing Kang Dynasty, which I think honestly we dodged a bullet with that.
Yeah. He was
'Cause
supposed to write the next Avengers film.
Yeah. Who do you think they'll go after now? Any ideas?
I have no clue, but
Yeah,
hopefully someone that's actually talented. But that seems to
yeah.
be like what they've been doing. They hired someone talented for
Not
Fantastic Four,
Fantastic Four. Yeah,
and
they
then
have the
Blade.
Avatar.
They got someone talented as well.
They got the True Detective guy, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
And then I know that
Um,
for Fast Furious, for Fantastic Four, they got the guy who did Avatar. I think he wrote Avatar 3 and 4, and apparently I forgot which one. One of them is supposed to be like so good that the studio they didn't have any notes for him when they read the script.
yeah, I think that's 3.
Yeah,
Um,
which usually that's like really unheard of.
but the funny part about all this though is that there are rumors that Jeff Loveness was like a scooper online, and that he had an account on Twitter where he would reveal stuff about the MCU and films that he was working on.
Yeah,
And it kind of makes sense because the entire script for
leaked.
Quantumania leaked like about a week before the movie came out,
Yeah,
maybe a little longer. So if that's the case and he was actually a scooper, that would actually be mad funny.
I kind of feel like he's not. I don't know.
But
That'd be a little
who has
crazy.
access? I mean, who within Marvel has access to the entire script?
You'd be surprised.
I don't know. I
He's not
mean,
the only person working on it, dude. There's
no,
a
I
ton
know.
of.
Obviously the writer, but there are a few other people that would have it, sure. But it kind of like makes sense a little bit if you think about it. He seems like the type of guy that would do something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyways, we'll update when we find out who our new writer is.
Yeah.
So I wonder if because Michael Waldron was supposed to write Secret Wars, right?
I believe I would much rather him than Jeff Loveness.
But I was thinking, do you think they'll move on from Waldron?
Probably. I mean, probably not. Because Doctor Strange. I mean, I feel like it was fine. The script. I didn't really have any issues with it.
Yeah, neither did I. But people
Yeah.
like the general public doesn't really, not the general public, but most of
Yeah, I feel like that's
the
like a little more mixed. Whereas Ant-Man, like most people think the script is bad.
yeah. I think they should have the same writer between the two films, though, just for
Yeah,
like
they should,
some
or at least have
cohesion
them
with the
have both
characters.
of them, whoever the two writers are, work together.
Yeah.
But there's no way. When is it supposed to come out? 2025.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be delayed, especially with the
Which
writer's strike
I'm
going
fine with
on.
that. I'm completely fine with that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All right. So that's about it for our movie news. We could move on now to the
our
second film of the day,
movie you
which
recommended.
I'll talk about a little bit. So I recommended this movie last week, or our last episode 2 weeks ago. It's a film directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, who we watched his trailer for his next film coming out this year. It's called Poor Things, his new film.
Yeah.
This was my introduction to him, and he's become one of my favorite directors since then. The movie's called The Killing of a Sacred Deer. It came out in 2017. It stars Colin Farrell, Nicole Kidman, Barry Keoghan, and Sonny Soljic, the kid. He's the kid from mid-90s. Raffi Cassidy, just among others.
He plays Atreus in God of War, right?
Yeah. I completely forgot about that, but yeah, he does. He plays Atreus.
Honestly, that's probably. I mean, I haven't seen him in mid-90s, but that's my favorite old by him.
Yeah, I mean, he's really young in mid-90s. Same in this movie, but yeah. So the film is basically about this surgeon who has this relationship with this kid, this teenager, and you start to learn as the film goes on how he made this relationship with this kid and why the kid is important to his life and why he cares about him.
Yeah.
And it gets darker and darker. The film overall is very eerie. And then you find out by the end that Colin Farrell, who was a surgeon, his character accidentally killed the kid's dad in a surgery. And the kid basically is out for his revenge in a way. So yeah, this was definitely a very out there movie, and it's probably not more different than anything you've seen. It's probably like the most artsy film that I've showed you, I would say.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed it. I really liked it.
I'm kind of surprised because I know you. Not that it's similar to Beau is Afraid, but it's kind of like in the same. Really,
I mean, I feel like narratively, there's way more of a story. Like I understand the story way more in this. They make it a lot more clear.
Yeah, but there's a lot of like creative choices in this that are just like very out there. Like the way that he makes the characters interact with each other.
Yeah, they almost feel like NPCs, the way they talk to each other, like video game dialogue.
Yeah, they feel like Sims.
Yeah.
Like they just say shit that's like out of pocket, just so normally.
Yeah.
Like
when,
they
go
ahead. Go.
So.
You got it.
Like there's a scene where Barry Keoghan's character is sitting in a room with the surgeon's two children, and like these, like this, the younger son's like, "Oh, do you have armpit hair?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then the daughter's just like, "I have." What does she say? She's like, "I'm menstruating now," or some shit like that.
She's like
out of
yeah, she's like, I started menstruating last week or something.
Yeah, and it's just a complete silence.
Yeah, it's just like they say whatever's on their mind, and there's no filter on anyone.
Yeah.
And the way it's not even what they say, but it's like how they deliver it. No one has any emotion.
Yeah.
It's just straight blank, just talking. Everyone just says what's on their mind. And you could tell in that way it's sort of like not set in reality.
Yeah, there's like an eeriness to the movie.
Yeah, I love the score. It's probably one of my favorite scores. And Yorgos has all of his movies have really fantastic scores. Especially just how like jarring and eerie it is. And whenever Barry Keoghan's character, his name's Martin, whenever he's with Colin Farrell's character, they always play this like eerie music in the background whenever they're together. And at the beginning, it's kind of like, dude, like what's going on here?
Yeah.
But then, as it goes, you sort of realize like there's something more to this relationship, and that's kind of like what keeps you invested, figuring out what happened, because they contradict each other a lot. He tells one of the other surgeons that, "Oh, this kid is a friend of my daughter's from school."
Yeah.
But then you end up finding out that he's never met the daughter. So yeah, it's very like thrilling film. I could see how some people could think it's boring. I know at first you said you thought it was a little boring.
Yeah, like the first act. I enjoyed it, but like I didn't really. They didn't really explain what was going on. I was kind of like a little confused, but I feel like once he can't get out of bed, that's when the movie starts like to pick up.
Yeah. So basically what happens is they don't really explain how this is possible, but Barry's character basically, so I want to actually say their names. So Barry's character's name is Martin, and then Colin Farrell's is Steven. So Martin basically explains to Steven, he's like, listen, like I'm just gonna tell this to you, I'm gonna tell it to you quick, like this is how it's supposed to be.
And
you killed. Go ahead. What?
Like, side note, like, I like how he just says it, like, so casually, as if, like, nothing like, he's just like, "Oh, yeah, like, I need to tell you this." And he thinks he's gonna tell him something, like, stupid, and then, like, he just explains, "Oh, you're gonna say it." But he just says it, like, very casually, and, like, the surgeon's just kinda looking at him like, "What the fuck? Like, what?"
Yeah, it has something to do. It's like in the same way that we just talked about, that they just say what's on their mind with no
Yeah.
emotion. Um, but yeah, anyways, so he basically is like, all right, I'm just gonna tell you this. You took a member of my family, so now you have to take a member of your family. Uh, if you don't, your whole family's gonna die. It starts in there's 4 steps: paralysis, refusal of eating, bleeding from the eyes, and then death.
Death.
He's like, you have to kill someone in your family, choose someone, or else that's gonna happen to everyone in your family, and everyone's gonna die. And Steven, who's Colin Farrell's character, is just like, okay, like he's like, I
And then
don't
he,
have
like,
time
takes
for
him out of
this.
the hospital, yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then this is after his son randomly, like, his leg stopped working. So he
Yeah.
just thought that, like,
He
Martin was
just
just
said it,
saying
like,
this shit
yeah.
because he was crazy. So security escorts him out, and then they go to check on his son in the room, and his wife is like, "Oh, he's not eating," because he already was paralyzed. So then the second
Yeah.
step was like refusal to eat. He's like, "What do you mean he's not eating? What do you mean he's not hungry?" So he tries to like force feed a
Force feed him
donut,
the don't yeah.
and he still like won't eat. So he's like, at this point, he's still like, all right, maybe it's like a coincidence.
Yeah.
Then like days pass, and he's still not eating, and then his daughter goes down. Same thing, gets paralyzed. This is when he really starts tweaking out.
Yeah.
Um,
He ends up kidnapping, Martin in his house and is, like, keeping him as basically a prisoner and trying to get him to, like, tell him how to fix this, but he's just insisting that he has to kill one of them.
yeah, this isn't my favorite scene, but one of my favorite scenes was when they have I keep forgetting his name, bro.
Martin?
Martin, yeah, they have Martin tied up in the basement, and like
Oh, I
Colin
think I know
Farrell's
what you're talking about.
character keeps saying like, "Yo, like what? Like you have to tell me how can I stop this? Like what do I do? Like what? Can you please stop this? Like I'll literally kill you." And
Mhm.
he's like, I have to like show you. I have to make you understand this. So he bites down on Colin Farrell's arm, like OD hard to the point that it's bleeding. And he's like, I could give you a rag. I could tell you I'm sorry. I could do all this stuff, but it won't matter. The only thing that's going to make both of us feel better is this. And then he bites down on his own arm to the point of it bleeding the same way.
I think, like, he actually rips out a chunk of his arm
Yeah.
and, like, spits it out.
But just like the way of him delivering that and
Yeah.
him getting his point across of like the only way to make this better is if you lose a member of your family too was just so powerful. And his like Barry's performance is so like chilling.
Yeah.
And after seeing this movie, this is when he became one of my favorite actors.
Yeah, after watching this, I have no doubt he's gonna play, like, a fantastic Joker.
Yeah, and I know like when he got cast as the Joker, you remember I was like, yo,
Yeah.
this is actually insanely like valid. But I don't think you were that familiar with him at the
No, I
time.
didn't really I feel like I only knew him from, I don't even know. I think I didn't know him. I haven't
Probably
seen him in
Eternals.
Yeah, Eternals. Yeah, actually, yeah, Eternals. I mean, I saw him he's in Chernobyl, but he's only in, like, one episode.
Yeah. But yeah, he's one of my favorite actors, and this is like what made me fall in love with his
Yeah.
craft. Um, but I'll talk about my actual favorite scene, which was it's kind of like a small scene, but it's when Colin Farrell's son like cuts his own hair and goes to his dad, and he's like, "I finally cut my hair, like I said I would. I'm sorry that I didn't do it like long ago, whatever." And like
Yeah.
he crawls to him in the living in like the kitchen, and Colin Farrell's like, "Oh, you look great, like thank you, I'm proud of you, whatever." And then it like cuts, and he's outside and just starts like hysterical crying. And like the reason why I love that scene so much is because it's the first time that any character in the movie showed like real emotion and wasn't just like a monotone robot. And that was just I don't know. That just showed like how much he was getting broken down because he was starting to realize like okay, like I'm probably gonna have to kill one of my kids, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you had a favorite scene though.
I mean, my favorite scene was the scene so at the end of the movie, he takes his wife his daughter and his son. He ties them up and he puts like cloths over their head, and then like he has a gun and he pulls like he has like a almost like a ski mask, but like there's no eyes on it, and he pulls it down and he like spins in a circle, and like he just randomly shoots because that's how he's gonna pick who's gonna like die. And the scene is just so like intense and suspenseful because you have no idea who's gonna get shot.
Yeah, I mean, I had seen it already, so it loses a bit of that suspense, but still, I know. Yeah, the first time I watched it, I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah,
And it's also like he misses like 3 times before, so
yeah.
every time you're like, "Dude, like who's gonna get hit?"
And you could tell like him, like you see him like every time he has to reload the gun, you see like the pain in his face.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is interesting because this really is like a movie that made me kind of like fall in love with film and filmmaking because I hadn't really seen something like this, like thought provoking and
In a long
intense
time.
and different than any like ever really. Because I would
Yeah,
only watch like Marvel movies and shit like before,
yeah,
and when it really hit me was like I watched the entire movie in my room like with headphones on just straight the full 2 hours, and after it ended, I like went in the kitchen and mom was in there and she like said something to me. But like because I had been listening to these people talk in monotone and like
yeah,
weirdly for 2 hours straight, I like couldn't understand what she was saying because she was saying it in a way that was different from what I'd just been listening to for the past 2 hours.
yeah,
It's like it took me like 10 seconds to like get back into reality and like register what she was saying because she was talking so differently.
yeah.
And I kind of just realized like if a film could
Do
impact
that
like
to you,
how you
yeah,
think and like change how you look at things that much, then like that's like a really powerful form of medium, you know?
yeah.
That's it is like a weird story, but like ever since then I sort of like gained this love for film. Um which is
Yeah.
why yeah, it's a good one to recommend to you. Because I know you're not really into that much of like artsy shit as I am, but
Not, yeah. I still enjoy it here and there, but not as much as you do. But I actually really like this movie. And not gonna lie, going in, I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I really enjoyed it.
yeah. Yorgos is just such like a talented filmmaker. Even you could tell just like the way he
The
moves the
writing was just,
camera.
like this. Not even the story was just like so well thought out.
Yeah,
Like, how did he even think of that?
I don't know. It's like it's very like how to explain it. It's like simple, but it's also like really weird. But I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like you just
Yeah,
have to watch it to understand.
like yeah,
Um, it's also like at its core, it's just a revenge tale, which has been done so many times.
it's just like a unique take on it.
Yeah,
But him in like Barry's character isn't really. He's not doing anything to harm the family. Like he's even dating the daughter, which is kind of funny that this whole thing is going on. Like he has like nothing against the family, but it's just like he has to. This is the way he like to get even with him.
yeah,
It's almost like he's not causing it. It's just he's just telling him how it is.
yeah. It is weird because like they never explain how this stuff is happening.
Yeah.
It just kind of like happens. There is some sort of like
Did they
I,
ask the director like what inspired him like to think of that?
I'm sure they have, but I don't know. I know like the meaning. I remember watching a video like when I first watched it, and I know like the killing of the sacred deer, like the sacred deer, or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's like a
There is
sacrifice.
some
Yeah.
like story behind it. Um, but I don't remember. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about the camera work was insanely gas. It was
Honestly, in this one, like I didn't really notice it as much. Not like I feel like I don't know. I
it's
noticed it
not
in a lot of movies like Babylon. Like there was a lot of really, really good shots in that.
yeah, it's just
And
it's different than
but
something
in
like
this one
Babylon.
not that it was bad, it wasn't something that stuck out to me.
Yeah. I would say the score and the cinematography and like the camera work definitely stuck out to me the most out of anything. Along with we didn't even mention Nicole Kidman. She was
Oh yeah.
fantastic in this as well. Um, but yeah, like all the performances were great.
Yeah.
Like just like the shots of Colin Farrell and like the other doctor walking through the hallway. And it's like this tracking shot of like
The
them
hospital hallway,
like
yeah.
like the camera moving back as they walk and keep walking, go around the corner. There was that one shot where his son like is
On
supposedly
the
okay
escalator.
on the escalator, and it sort of
Yeah,
like pans
I like
up, and
that
you
shot.
get
Yeah,
this aerial view of everything.
and the music there is really good.
Yeah, just like very unique ways to move the camera, and that's like in all of his movies.
Yeah,
So that's why
I'm way
I
more
don't.
excited for that newer movie that he's gonna make.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember back when I made my when we did our like most anticipated 2023. I think Poor Things was like my second favorite behind Beau Was Afraid, or my second most anticipated.
What did I say my most anticipated?
I
Probably
think your
Evil
most
Dead.
was Mario or something, or Evil Dead. I forget.
Probably Evil Dead.
But yeah,
Yeah,
you said your favorite scene, right? I forget.
yeah.
What about a favorite character?
Oh, Martin.
Yeah, Martin. I honestly would choose Steven, Colin Farrell's
Yeah,
character, a bit
it's like a
more.
split, but they're both like fantastic.
Yeah, and they just bounce off each other so well.
Yeah,
They have this dynamic.
I really want to see them interact in like the Batman universe.
Yeah, that's because they work together a lot.
Yeah,
They're both in Banshees. They're both in the Batman. Um, I think there might be another one that they're both in, but
yeah,
um,
yeah,
I just it's both their performance are fantastic, and they just like I said, they just like work so well with each other. Like
yeah.
you can tell like
Chemistry.
there's a nuance to Colin Farrell's performance that you can tell he sort of feels this like this guilt and this like as if he like owes something
Yeah.
to the character, you know?
hmm
So he just brings it out in his performance.
What did you rate it?
I gave it a 4.5 star, 9 out of 10. It would be a 5 star, but I just think it's a little bit too long. Um,
Really?
yeah,
I feel like it
it's,
didn't really.
I
I
don't know. I
don't know.
think the story could have been told in like a little bit less time, I think, and I did feel it drag at points a bit. But besides that, like it's nearly a perfect film.
Yeah,
So,
but yeah.
what about you?
I gave it same thing, 4.5, 9 out of 10. But my reason is that I thought that first act of the movie was a little bit boring, but I didn't feel like it dragged. Like I never felt like I was like looking at my watch, like not watch, but looking at the time, like when is this thing gonna end? I thought it was like a good run time. It was 2 hours, right, or maybe a little bit under
Yeah,
two
yeah, it
hours.
was 2 hours, but yeah, the story is just like pretty simple overall. I feel like it could have been done in a little less
Yeah,
time, but still, I mean, it doesn't take anything really away from the film.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I guess that's it. That's your first Yorgos. Hopefully, you'll check out some
yeah.
of
I'm
his
definitely
other
gonna start
stuff.
watching some of
Maybe you should
them.
watch. You should probably watch The Lobster next because that's also Colin Farrell.
Yeah, that
Along,
one I've heard of. That's like the only film I've heard of from him.
yeah, and he's not like you can tell by this. He's not gonna be like a mainstream kind of
No, not at all.
director, you know. But yeah,
Yeah.
all right. So we actually don't have a Q&A just because we're recording so early, and I just didn't get a chance to put the question polls up. So we'll skip that for today.
We'll go to my movie
Yeah,
recommendation.
you go ahead with that.
So I mean, I picked something a little bit more simpler and like dumb-minded because this was such like a, you know, deep and interesting film. So I picked a movie directed by Tim Burton. Came out in 1996. Me and you have both seen this, but I have not seen it in probably 15 years. It's called Mars Attacks, which I don't. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, I was actually planning on watching this within like the next couple weeks anyway, so
Yeah.
that's
So
a great rec.
I remember like uh, watching this as a kid and like really enjoying it, but I don't remember like I know it's an alien invasion, but like I don't remember like anything about it.
Yeah, I remember the looks of the aliens and like
Yeah, they
really
have like the
enjoying that.
brain and the yeah,
I'm pretty sure you know where I remember their look from? I think
Planet Hollywood.
maybe either Planet Hollywood or the Monster Horror Makeup Show in Universal.
Oh
I
yeah.
think they had the alien's head on display there. But yeah, no, that's a great pick. I'm excited. Like I said, I was planning on watching this anyway, so
It was I was
works out.
between that and Beetlejuice, but I've seen Beetlejuice like a million times.
Yeah, and then do you remember what other movies we're gonna
What?
do? Because I'm forgetting what else is coming out.
Spider-Verse comes out June 2nd.
Okay.
Let me look at the Regal app. I mean, we
Yeah,
could
so
do Little Mermaid.
All right, we'll see. That we'll see.
Let me see. We have it comes out next week. Let's
Oh wait, Transformers.
so we'll probably Transformers and Across the Spider-Verse.
Okay, we'll say that for now. We might do Little Mermaid.
Damn, I have 4.
Yeah.
Probably
Well,
the biggest one we've done.
yeah. I don't
Oh,
know.
and Elementals comes out too. I mean, I'm gonna.
Does it?
Yeah, it comes out the 6th. Oh no, that's
That's the next.
So
That
this
one we'll
week will
do with the.
be.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, and then there's also the Boogeyman coming out.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll
I'll
probably
watch
see
it.
it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We could watch those and just like briefly discuss it. We don't have to go into super detail, you know.
Yeah, for sure. So let's just for now we'll plan on doing Spider-Verse
Spider-Verse,
and
Transformers,
Transformers.
and Mars Attacks.
If Little Mermaid is that great that we want to discuss it, then we'll do that as
Yeah.
well. But all right,
Yeah.
that wraps it up. Thanks for listening, guys. Make sure to give us a follow on our Instagram,
Stay epic and awesome.
Letterboxes. Stay epic, stay cool, and stay awesome.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to mention before we wrap things up, I am going to try to be more active on the Twitter because I know a lot of people prefer Twitter to Instagram. So I'll try to match our posting on there in case anyone's interested. But yeah, thanks for listening. See you next time.
See you guys.